He was once a Navy SEAL, but the war never truly released its grip on him. Using the final $10,000 from his VA benefits, he purchased a deserted farmhouse tucked deep within the snow-covered hills of Montana. He wasn't searching for redemption, only silence. A place where memories couldn't reach him. But when he returned weeks later, something was wrong. Smoke curled from the chimney. Someone was already there. The wind tore across the frozen valley near Bozeman, carrying the sharp smell of pine and burning wood. Snow lay thick across the land, swallowing fences, paths, and time itself. Eli Warren stepped out of his aging pickup truck, the cold biting into his bones as the engine ticked softly behind him. The farmhouse sat crooked on the ridge, half buried in drifting snow. To anyone else it looked abandoned. To Eli it looked like peace. At 38, Eli was built from years of discipline and survival. Broad shoulders, steady hands, and a face marked by both age and experience. A faint scar traced his jawline, catching the pale winter light. His eyes, a dull gray, carried the weight of things he never spoke about. Sleep rarely came easily. When it did, it was filled with explosions, screams, and the hollow silence afterward. PTSD, they called it. To Eli, it was simply the echo that followed him everywhere. 2 years earlier, his wife Laura had packed a suitcase and left without shouting or tears. "You came home," she said quietly, "but you never really returned." He didn't argue. He didn't know how. Now this farmhouse was all he had left. 10 forgotten acres where no one would ask questions. He planned to fix the roof, repair the fence, and maybe, just maybe, learn how to breathe again. As he made his way up the icy drive, his boots crunching beneath him, something caught his eye. Smoke. Thin, steady, impossible. He had checked the fireplace himself. It hadn't worked in decades. Yet there it was, rising calmly into the gray sky. Then he noticed the footprints. Small ones. 2 sets. One human. One animal. His instincts flared instantly. His hand brushed the pistol hidden beneath his coat. Quietly, carefully, he climbed the porch steps. The boards groaned under his weight. The smell of burning pine mixed with something else, something human. A curtain twitched. Eli reached the door, frost clinging to the handle. He knocked once. Then again. No response. Slowly he turned the knob. It was unlocked. Warm air spilled out to meet him. And somewhere inside, something alive was breathing. The warmth of the fire wrapped around Eli as he stepped inside, the orange glow slowly revealing the room. The farmhouse looked different, cleaner, cared for. Firewood was stacked neatly. A broken window had been patched. Someone had tried to make this place livable. Then he saw her. A young woman stood frozen near the fireplace, gripping an old metal cup like a shield. She couldn't have been older than her mid-20s. Her chestnut hair fell messily around a pale, tired face. Her clothes were worn, her boots scuffed, her jeans torn. But it was her eyes, hazel green, that held his attention. Fear lived there, but so did resolve. At her side stood a German shepherd, muscles tight, ears pinned back, a low growl rumbling from deep within his chest. The dog's gaze never left Eli. "Easy," Eli said calmly, lifting one hand. His voice carried the same steady tone he once used in combat. "Please don't call the police," the woman said quickly. "We'll leave. We just needed warmth." She rested a trembling hand on the dog's neck. "It's just me and Rex." At the sound of his name, the dog quieted slightly but remained alert. Eli scanned the room, blankets by the fire, empty food cans lined carefully by the wall. This wasn't chaos. It was survival. "You didn't know I owned this place," Eli said. She shook her head. "I just needed somewhere far away." Her name was Clara. Her father, James Hayes, had been a civil engineer working on a so-called eco-resort project run by Apex Terra Group. He discovered they were dumping chemical waste into the river. When he refused to sign off on the report, he died. The police called it an accident. Clara knew better. Threats followed. Debt piled up. $50,000. She sold everything. Rex, her father's trained rescue dog, started behaving strangely after the funeral. One night he wouldn't stop scratching at a shed. Clara felt watched. So she ran. Eli listened without interrupting. He understood running. He understood silence. "You can stay tonight," he finally said. "Tomorrow we figure out what comes next." Relief washed over her face. Rex settled by the fire, still watchful. For the first time in years, Eli wasn't alone in the quiet. And strangely, it didn't feel like a mistake. The farmhouse slowly came back to life. Days blended together as repairs began. Eli fixed beams and patched the roof. Clara learned how to cook over fire, how to mend fabric, how to breathe again. Outside, winter tightened its grip, But inside, warmth returned. Rex became their constant guardian. Always alert. Always listening. One night, during a violent storm, Rex's behavior changed. He barked, not his usual warning but something urgent. He raced toward the old barn. Eli followed with a flashlight. Clara came close behind with a lantern. Rex clawed at a darkened section of the barn wall. Beneath the rotten wood, Eli uncovered a hidden cavity. Inside was a sealed wooden box, heavy and oil-stained. The contents changed everything. Maps, invoices, photographs, pipeline diagrams marked with waste diversion routes. Apex Terra Group logos stamped everywhere. At the bottom, a photograph of barrels being unloaded, and a signature Clara recognized instantly. Her father had hidden the evidence. They killed him for this, she whispered. Eli knew what came next. Exposure meant danger. But silence meant letting evil win. They moved quickly. That night they documented everything. The next day they followed the pipeline trail to the frozen river. The smell confirmed it: chemicals, death, poison, wildlife. Eli photographed everything while Clara marked coordinates. When they returned, headlights cut through the snow. Men broke in. Rex attacked first, knocking one intruder down. Eli moved with brutal precision, years of training snapping into place. The threat was neutralized. "These are Apex men," Eli said coldly. By morning, the evidence was sent to an investigative journalist known for exposing corruption. 2 days later, the story exploded nationwide. Federal agents descended on the valley. Apex Terra Group collapsed under investigation. Local officials were arrested. James Hayes was officially recognized as a murdered whistleblower. His name was cleared. His truth heard. Rex received a Civilian Valor Medal. His photo appeared across the country. Spring arrived slowly. The farmhouse transformed, no longer a hiding place but a refuge. Clara turned it into a community center for veterans and survivors. She named it after her father. Eli stayed. He helped others the way he never thought possible. Rex became a certified PTSD service dog, guiding broken people back to themselves. The land that once held secrets now held hope. Sometimes miracles don't arrive loudly. Sometimes they come quietly. In loyalty, in courage, and in a second chance.